Hello and welcome to Bored Stupid. My name's Wayne.
And I'm Matt.
And if you've stuck around for a little while, you'll know that IP games are something of a red flag for us.
Yeah, big red flag.
Big red flag, especially for this guy right here, like a huge one. So you can actually check that video out up here. You'll see the link where we talk all about our red flags of board games, IP games being one of them. But we thought, wouldn't it be interesting if we did our top 5 IP games, just to show that just because something's a red flag doesn't mean it's a bad game.
However, I have to say that I don't own that many IP games just exactly for the red flag. Yeah, I was just like, all right, is there actually like 10 IP games that I own and that I like? No. No, there are so many very good games. Let me put out there. Spoiler alert: there's gonna be Star Wars stuff because we love Star Wars, and that is one of the IPs that is being really well.
It's quite well respected in board games.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But a lot of other stuff. Ish, but we'll discuss about it.
There's a big old sea of average games there.
Unfortunately,
but it is the case. But there are some great games. So we've picked, as normal, 5 each for you. So 10 wonderful games based on IPs that you can go and enjoy. But do you know what they should do before they can go and enjoy that and check out all of the IPs?
Well, first of all, you can check the Into the AM link where you've got 10% discount on some amazing graphic tees like the ones that
guy right here
that we're wearing today. And there is, following the link, you're gonna have 10% discount on the overall whatever you're buying. Or you can use the link or using Bored Stupid as a code at your checkout, and definitely have a look. The guys do some amazing
leisure wear, and you can put the discount on top of their sales as well.
Yeah,
so double your savings.
Exactly. So it could be a discount on a discount.
Great deal.
And definitely have a look of all that geeky stuff they got. They do so much amazing stuff, and we're really happy to have them on board with us. And after that, after your shopping, I think you should hit the red button to subscribe to the channel, and so you can stay up to date with all the content that we're pushing out every week.
Absolutely. Go hit the checkout, then go hit the subscribe.
Yeah, do it. And let's talk about IP games. Okay, as we say, IP games are not really my thing, so I'll let you start with your list.
Yeah, okay.
What you got on number 5?
Number 5 for me is a recent big hitter by Simon Games, which is Marvel United. Now, Simon is one of those companies that actually, again, treats IP very well.
It does.
They tend to just make good games.
Yeah.
And slap a famous license on it.
Yeah, and I think that with their license with Marvels, they started like pushing out a lot of very good products.
A lot of products.
I do own the all-in pledge for Marvel Zombies, and I love it.
Very good game.
I know that is a little bit of controversial in terms of the cost and everything. Not touching that things. The game itself is fun to play. It's a zombie-side game with all the Marvel characters, and I loved it. But yeah, they came out a few years ago with Marvel United. Actually, I never played, so
brilliant game. It's actually relatively lightweight, somewhere between. I think we'd probably call it a next step game in our broad categories. Again, check out the links for those videos. But it is a cooperative game. We are working together to fight the villain. And there are, as you might imagine, for a game like this, lots of bolt-in content that you can do, for various different Marvel villains, and you're going to be working with, again, lots of bolt-in content, whatever heroes you're going to be working together. You're either going to be Iron Man and Spider-Man working together to try and fight, the Red Skull or whoever's going to be. And you are cooperating using this really interesting sort of circular system where you're playing cards that will combo off of the last card to have effects on the bad guy. And the bad guy has a go. So really smart game that's done really well. And what I love about it is its amazing accessibility. And it's got this wonderful, almost like chibi art style in a way, where it's like not like full on comic characters like you might
got
imagine.
all that
Everything's
like
squished.
big heads.
Yeah, big bobblehead type stuff.
Yeah.
It's absolutely adorable. So I think, the game is tremendous, very accessible, nice and appealing, an all-family game.
Yeah.
Like, everyone can play this game. So, young adults, kids that are smart, can play it. It's a co-op, so everyone can play it without getting angry at anyone. Just a tremendous game. I think it was a smash hit from Simon.
Yeah, and I got a question for you, and this is why I never went too close to the game. Of course I know it, but I never went too much close to it. How many expansion does this game have?
This game, if you got the all-in pledge, you will have a stack of games that is taller than me. I'm not very tall, but still, that's a lot. There are literally piles of expansions for this game.
This is exactly why, knowing myself, knowing that if I go all in or that.
That would take up this whole block.
Yeah, that's why that it's always been like, if I like it, then I need to buy too much stuff. Because I know that Simon keeps bringing out new expansion every X amount of months, and I've always been scared about the commitment. But
there is tons of it, but it is really good stuff. You don't have to get all of it, get a couple of bits, and it's a really solid game. So that's my number 5, Marvel United. So Matt, what have you got for me? What's number 5 on your list?
Number 5 on my list is actually a Disney game.
Okay.
It's Disney Villainous.
Excellent.
That I found it out. I know that it went really big a few years ago, and again, was Disney branded. Not really sure about it, but then actually managed to play to a friend's house. And the game is actually brilliant. The game is brilliant. Game, yeah. The fact that you're playing with the Villainous, and the game, I still don't understand how Disney actually agreed to be part of the. Because you literally you're playing the villain, and sometimes you'll have to kill like the little bunnies from Bambi. So it's just like woo, wow. But anyway, the game itself is it's really interesting because it's an asymmetric game.
Quite heavily asymmetric as well.
Each player will play with a different villain, so you can have from Ursula to Captain Hook and all sorts of things. And you basically playing your own game, so it's very asymmetrical what you can do during your turn and what action you can take. At the same time, the winning the victory points you're going to do are going to be your victory condition is going to be very different from someone else, and and then the rest is deck building, hand management, and it's got this very interesting mechanic that is the Fate deck, where you actually put Disney heroes into other people's deck that will become a challenge when you pick it up. I found that it was absolutely amazing to play. I was very, very surprised. Again, I wasn't really sold at the start with the theme, but actually it's got like a very dark twist on the Disney character, and I really like it. And the old character from probably when we were young, so like many years ago.
Disney Villainous is a tremendous achievement from Battlestar Games, and they've absolutely smashed it out of the park. I think it's the best version of it. The Marvel one, I think, has a shared Fate deck, but in Disney, you've got your own one per villain, which is even better, right? So, so if you have Hook, all of the heroes are to do with the film Peter Pan, which is really, really cool. It's great. It's more complex than you might imagine.
It is.
For a Disney game, right?
Yeah.
For where you think, this would be one for all the family.
Yeah,
not
really. No. And I find it, as we were discussing earlier, a 4-player count is probably too much for the game because it can get quite long.
It's much better 1 versus 1, or at most in a 3.
Yes. But no, absolutely. I was very, very surprised. So that he made the list as Disney Villainous. On to the next one. What do you got on number 4 for you?
Well, as per our Red Flags video, Matt, I think specifically you had a problem with video game IPs.
I do.
You do have a problem with video game IPs.
Biggest red flag is every time A board game coming out from a video game IP, I'm a no.
And that's entirely fair, because there's been some terrible ones. But at the same time, there's also been some great ones. And one of them is Sniper Elite.
Yeah, fair enough.
Sniper Elite is by Rebellion Unplugged, and they've done a cracking job with this particular license. It's a 1 versus all hidden movement game, where one person is the aforementioned sniper, who is an elite, infiltrating one of several maps. So you've got lots of maps in the game, trying to basically get to several objective points, which they will know because they've drawn them in secret. And then it's up to the other teams who will play the Nazis, literal Nazis, trying to hunt the guy down and kill him and stop him before he gets there. And this is wonderful because Sniper Elite is really fun. It uses bag building. I like bag building as a mechanism. And it's wonderful. When you're shooting, you'll declare, okay, I'm going to pull out 6 tokens from this bag, which will tell the Nazi team that you are within 6 distance of it, and you're going to be trying hitting, because that's how far I'm hitting, right? And obviously the further I'm trying to hit, the more tokens I pull out, but in the bag are missed tokens. And if you pull out too many of those, obviously your shot goes wide and you miss. This game
does reveal your position.
Yeah, exactly. You give way more information, etc. So this game does a great job of making you feel like a badass when you're the sniper, because especially if you're like popping off Nazis here, there, and everywhere. Tremendous, tremendous fun. And when you are the Nazi team working together, it really does encourage you to scour the board and really make the most of the information that you'll give it. And a really great hidden movement game. I mean, they did a cracking job.
Yeah, it's one of those few that IP that translated pretty well into a board game.
They didn't overcomplicate it.
Exactly.
They didn't try to take the video game and do everything that you could possibly do. Like, can you shoot the balls off a shoulder, a soldier at like 300 yards? It's not that. It's more like, okay, what's the concept of Sniper Elite?
Exactly.
And let's translate conceptually what that might look like in board game mechanisms. And they did a great job of it. So that's why it's my number 4, Sniper Elite. Matt, we've had Marvel, we've had Disney, we've had Sniper Elite. What world are we going to next?
Well, we're going to a galaxy far, far away. That's the...
it took us this long to get there, but we got there.
And I'm sure it's not going to be the only one, because I know
Maybe not.
I picked a game that I know, because I know you will pick another one. So...
Maybe.
And
you don't know me.
So we were talking earlier about 1 versus all.
Yeah.
In this case, instead of hidden movement, of course, you know me, it's a dungeon crawler, and it's Imperial Assault.
Nice.
A fantastic game from Fantasy Flight that really translates very well. That brings the IP very well on the board game, especially in a dungeon crawler. This game is based on the Descent system. So if you play Descent, Journey in the Dark, you're gonna see a lot of similarities. And I love Descent, so that was pretty much love at first sight. And one player will play the Empire side, so you will control the Stormtrooper, you will control all the Imperial, including Darth Vader, now and then, depending on the mission. While the other players will play cooperatively against the Empire, and each one of them will control a different character. Again, as every dungeon crawler, each character will have different specification, these different specialization, different abilities, and so you grow your characters during time. You will find out it is very much story driven as well. There's a very nice story that unfolds while you go through the scenarios, and it's very much Star Wars, and you're not gonna play as any main character, so you're not gonna be Luke Skywalker, you're not gonna be Han Solo or Princess Leia. You play other character, but now and then you might encounter one of the famous characters, and I really loved it. There's tons of expansion for this game. Of course, it's a Fantasy Flight game. There is one expansion that lets you play all cooperatively against the AI. So in that case, the dungeon master is going to be an app. Okay. So if you're okay with that, you can play. However, playing the Empire side is really fun. It's really fun. So again, I think that brings to the table very much the Star Wars feeling, and being a dungeon crawler, that was a perfect match for me. So yeah, number 4 for me is Star Wars Imperial Assault. Good. We are at number 3. What do you have?
Number 3 for me is actually, again, based on a video game IP, just to show that they are out there. Mm-hmm. But I know actually nothing about the video game.
Okay, which one is?
Sweet FA about the video game. Family show. But it's Northgard.
Okay.
Northgard is like a Micro 4X, and it's tremendous. There's a great production of this game, but that's essentially it. You are going to be having your little clan, and you're going to be exploring the lands, from what I'm assuming is Northgard, fighting each other for control of lands. Okay. And it's done in a really smart way. There's a really great sort of limited deck building element, which is brilliant. You've got your own sort of deck, which you're going to upgrade through the course of the game. Not a massive amount, so small amounts of deck building. So every change to your deck feels powerful. Okay. Does that make sense? And so the less cards you have, obviously when you make changes to them, the more powerful it is. It also has this really interesting control mechanism when you're looking at control of regions and terrain. When you place tiles out, again, tile-based, and I like that. So you place a new tile out as you're exploring, and you can rotate it and orient it in any way to create borders. And the bigger the border, obviously, the more land mass that you own, and the more things that you'll get when you get your income. However, the tastier a target it is, and the harder it is to defend, and you're spreading all of your troops wide over your lands. So really, really smart, and obviously other people are going to be keeping their beady eyes on your stuff to come and get you. Their combat system is really great, and very, I suppose, deterministic, and kind of non-bloody in a way. When you lose combat, typically you just sort of run away back to somewhere else and then fight another day, which is very good. But your dudes will occasionally die. But when they do, it doesn't ever feel like you're out of the game. You can always come back. There's always another opportunity. So Northgard is a game that's done such a great job of translating the IP to a board game that I had no idea it was a video game.
I have no idea what game is.
There we go.
You guys let us know. Have you played the video game? Have you played the board game?
Let us know, because it is, I think it's an absolutely brilliant board game. And there's loads of content in the box as well, little mini expansions too. So definitely give it a go. Go check it out. That's Northgard. So Matt, we've just come back from a galaxy far, far away. Are we going to a galaxy closer to home?
We go to a galaxy closer to us.
Okay.
We go in a galaxy where the human race is actually trying to find a home, trying to find a herd. Okay. And they're gonna be stopped by evil robots that looks like humans. And I'm talking about Battlestar Galactica.
What classic?
Battlestar Galactica is probably my favorite show ever.
Wow. I've learned something about you today.
That is one of my favorite shows ever. As a series, not movies, a series, I love it.
Never watched
I watched it so many times.
I never watched it.
And the game itself translate perfectly the atmosphere of the series into a board game. The game itself at this point in time is basically like impossible to find, and that's really, really bad, because I think more people should have enjoyed it. It's kind of like if you got it somewhere in your attic, because I bring it out because it's gold dust basically. The game itself is a hidden traitor game. You basically, throughout the game, you all work together as the human race on this lonely ship that is the last hope for humanity to find a new planet, that in this case is refinding Earth. But you fight against the Silence. There are these like evil robots that look like humans that are trying to wipe out humanity. The game again is a hidden traitor, but the traitor, you will know that you're a traitor or not around the table randomly at more or less midway of the game. So until then, you're basically working all together, trying to fight crises, to check that the population stays high, that everybody's got food. So there's a lot of like resource management and crisis management. At a certain point, one or more of you around the table will find out that they are sleeping agents, and that is when the game turns. And it's fantastic how to see this traitor mechanisms coming to life, because at that point this is a very long game. Again, we're talking about like playing for 4, 5, 6 hours sometimes. So when you find out that you are the traitor, you've already been working with the other people for 4 hours before that. So and it's all about making sure that everybody trusts each other. Maybe they trust you that you're the traitor, and when you are the traitor, there are a couple of mechanics while you can literally finish the game in a very short time, because it's that powerful at that point. Again, it's a complex, long, heavy game, but IP board game, perfect match.
Yeah, for those that haven't played it but think this sounds amazing, all is not lost. You can find a re-implementation of exactly the same mechanisms under a game called Unfathomable. Hot take, I think it's a better game. Because there is a streamlined set of mechanisms.
Yeah,
it is.
It's more streamlined. But we're talking about a game that came out almost 20 years ago against the game that came out
like 3 years ago. So
exactly.
It's 3-4 years ago. So it's very, very good. Do go check that out. There's much of the same stuff. It's tremendously good fun, and I think it's a great pick, Matt.
But yeah, Battlestar Galactica, the board game. All right, your number 2, Wayne. What do you have?
Well, Matt, I'm a massive fan of the mafioso theme, and I don't have enough of those games. I wish I had more of them. There's a couple that I've got my eye on, but the one that I do have, I very much like, and I think it's an underrated gem, especially at the high player counts, and that is The Godfather, Corleone's Empire. Yeah, all of that.
I can do it. I'm Italian. I can do it.
Is this like?
I find a little bit racist.
Is this cultural appropriation?
Yeah, it is.
I apologise, but also. It's a really, really good game. The Godfather Corleone's Empire is a C1 game. I like their stuff. I'm not going to say. I'm not going to apologise for it. They make good games. Eric Lang, especially, I think, is an excellent designer. And I mean,
the design is really good. Like
he does good stuff. Yeah, it's a dudes on the map style game.
Yep.
So you are going to be placing your dudes on the map of New York
Manhattan,
City,
you got Manhattan and around Bronx and around.
That's right, exactly. Trying to shake down the fronts of shops, or sending your family members to like the back alleys to like do deals, trying to get different effects and do jobs for the Don. Also, some of these jobs might be, performing hits on other people around the table, and sending their guys to sleep with the fishes in the Hudson, in the Hudson River. So, and there is loads of that. There's car bombing, there's drive-by shootings, there's drug dealing, there is everything you might imagine in like a mafia game.
Yeah.
It's
good. It's a good game. It's a good how like all the little components that you got. For example, you got your own luggage where you put your money in that you save,
which is really great.
It's really good how you get like NPC to help you out, or you bribe them. Yeah, that very good mechanics. So
really smart. Taking you can only win the game obviously by laundering the most cash. Money in your hand, worth nothing. You've got to get it washed and cleaned and put in your suitcase, and that again is a tremendously thematic integration there. Again, works much better at 4 players. 5 players works great as well. It is just a really, really fun game that isn't actually too complex. This is one of those games where it's the opposite of Villainous.
Villainous, that's true.
You think is going to be easy, but it's actually quite complex what it is. Surprising, not saying it's complicated, but more than you might expect.
No,
You see The Godfather, Corleone's Empire, and you think, wow, that's going to be a really hard game to play.
Actually,
not really.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you take your worker, you place it in that section. That section will do an action.
It's a glorified worker worker placement style mechanism, right? And that's essentially it. So, but it is a really fun implementation of it with lots of cool effects, very interactive, very engaging.
And is it easy to find at this moment?
At this point,
it's got a few years now.
It's got a few years on it. As the last time I checked, which was a while ago, it was more widely available. You might struggle a little bit these days,
so
I don't think it's
if you can't find it, something that is not really re-implementation, but it's very similar. Simon brought out Cyberpunk.
The Gangs of Night City, right?
Yes. That is basically same game, but with a cyberpunk skin. So if you like the video game, again, the IP and the video game in this case, I prefer the Godfather to the cyberpunk version. But again, if you like that IP, you basically have Night City, and you still place the worker do the action. Is very much the same game with different things. But yeah, absolutely.
Tremendous game. So that's my next one. That's Godfather, Corleone's Empire. All right, Matt, we're getting close to the top. Where else are we going in these parallel universe shifts that we're jumping into?
We're going back to Herd, but not our Herd. We're going to a parallel dimension Herd, and we go in a dimension that is full of zombies, and where the
dimension.
Marvel heroes have been turned into zombies. And,
Excellent.
I talked about it earlier. I spoiled it a little bit, but we're talking about Marvel zombies.
It's a great game.
I find so again, it's a zombicide game. So the rules of the games are very much the zombicide ones.
The base structure,
however, it ties perfectly in with the IP. So if you don't know what Marvel Zombies the IP is again in a parallel universe. The mightiest heroes of Earth have been turned into zombies, and they try to eat people and try to eat the survival and the hero that hadn't been beaten since that point. And it's really good. The scenarios you're fighting as the zombies, trying to beat the non-zombies, so you will have the shield trying to stop you with the other heroes. Tons and tons of expansion.
Loads of content.
I've got them all because I love the IP again.
All in all time, mate.
And however, they did a very good thing. This time, Simon didn't just add more of the minis. You got different type of gameplay. For example, the second expansion, the X-Men one, will add the fact that you can play as the heroes against the zombies. So you can create, basically, you got, do you want to play the hero or do you want to play the zombie hero?
Two sides of the coin.
Basically, yes. And other ones, for example, the Fantastic Four, or they get like different style of game. There is the one that you need to basically protect the X-Men manor. So you got basically like a horde type of game, and it's really interesting. Of course, minis and production are over the top, and I do love it. I think that is a perfect IP and a game that already existed. Like,
I'll be honest, when I saw this on Kickstarter for the first time,
you were I
thought that, absolutely, that turned me right off. I thought
but then you played it.
Very good, yeah. I thought it was just a gimmick, but actually, it's pretty bloody good. Yeah. So, that's a good choice, man.
Perfect. So, number 2 is Marvel Zombies. We are at number 1.
We certainly are.
Yeah. Do you want to do any special mention, any honourable mention at this point?
Yeah, why not? Very quickly. I'll mention Wonderland's War, which is a very good game. I think it's a tremendous game. It's a big, old, silly game, but it's very, very good. Lots of area control, lots of stuff going on there. The Fallout game by Fantasy Flight actually isn't too bad.
Okay.
So that's actually not a bad one. I don't think it's amazing, but it's not bad. I actually think you can get a lot of fun out of that game. So those are the 2 that I'll mention.
Okay, I've got a couple as well. One is a pandemic game, and it is the Pandemic World of Warcraft game.
Oh, nice.
The Frozen, the Lich King, Frozen Lich King or something. Anyway, if you are a World of Warcraft fan like me, and you spend a lot of your hours
playing WoW
in ADVERT. It's a very nice game. It's not a perfect game, but it's a pandemic system, so it's very well known. Yeah. It's a solid game. Adds different mechanics. For example, you're not fighting against diseases. You're fighting against ghosts that the Lich King is sending out in the land. You got quests. You got heroes. So it's a nice twist. The other one that I haven't played for, I can't even remember how many years, but it's Jaws, from the movies Jaws, and it's really interesting. It's one versus all. The one is the shark. The game is divided in two sections. The first one is where all the humans start to get ready and preparing, like getting people off the beaches and trying to say what the shark does with some hidden movements, moves around and scares people. And then the second part of the game, when the boat flips and you got basically the boat like at the end of the movie, the people on the boat will have to try to use every weapon that they can find to kill the shark, while awesome. The shark actually chews pieces of the boat and try to eat the people. It's a very good game. It's again more on the lighter side. Both of these honourable mention, but
I've not played Jaws, but I've heard a lot about it. And you'll correct me if I'm wrong, internet, but I'm pretty sure that's Prospero Hall, which is the design team behind games like Pan Am, which is one of my favourite games, and so have a few others. They do really, really good stuff, especially for Funko. Yeah. So
I think we should try and find a copy. But
we certainly should. Should we get into number one then?
Yeah, let's go number one now. Now for real.
Now for real.
You're number one, Wayne.
No fake outs.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't taken us to space yet, which makes me sad. Did I take us to space? I'm pretty sure.
Not yet.
Oh, I have to fix that now. And obviously, I'm going to Star Wars with one of my favourite games of all time, which is Star Wars Rebellion. And I'll mention it over and over again because I think it's absolutely tremendous. This is the definitive Star Wars game. Fight me. It is Star Wars in a box. It can't be any more Star Wars.
Yeah, I think incredible. A lot of people agreeing with you, me, myself in first. Yeah,
it's so good. It is Star Wars on the galactic scale, on the zoomed out scale, as opposed to the Imperial sort, where you're more like down on the ground, right? Or the other Star Wars games, or like Outer Rim, where it's basically playing as Han Solo or whatever, or the Mandalorian. This is the galactic scale, old school, Empire versus the Rebels. That is it. And if you are the Rebels, you are heavily outgunned, terrified, fighting for your life, trying to misdirect and trying to make sure that the Empire doesn't find your base and destroy it, because if they do, game over. So you're trying to throw all sorts of tricks out there to try and hold them off as long as possible while you complete secret objectives. And if you can get them all done, then you'll win. On the flip side, if you're the Empire, you have tons and tons of ships, big Star Destroyers and everything, Death Stars, moving around the map, literally nuking planets out of existence, terrifying the person at the other end of the table. It is brilliant. It's this wonderfully tense, long, intricate game of cat and mouse. It's really, really tense and gripping. It's a very cinematic experience. And
it's great to play both ways. So really is, if you are the Rebels, as you said, you are constantly scared,
under threat,
and you're like, I'm gonna lose. While on the other side, the flip side, the Empire,
you're like, where are you?
When you start like, okay, I destroyed this.
Are you
where
here?
are you? Where are you?
Where are you?
And
you must be here.
It's very frustrating. You're like, where are you? Like, because the galaxy is vast, so you can move around. And it's really interesting as well, all the twists that you got in the game. For example, you could actually get Luke to turn to the dark side.
Yeah, you can do all sorts of...
So you can create
twists on the standard stories that we all know based on the events that you're going to be doing and the cards that you want to play. Yeah. It's really, really clever. The card system is amazing. The battle system is great, especially with the expansion, which I would thoroughly recommend. Fixes a couple of issues with the original game, but with the expansion, wow, chef's kiss.
Yes, it's as you said, it's the most Star Wars thing you can find. So
in a board game,
yeah,
definitely. So that has to be my number one. It is Star Wars Rebellion, brilliant game. Need to play it more.
Yes.
So Matt, Are we staying in space?
We're staying in space. Yeah, of course we're staying in space.
If you didn't say the game that I know you're going to say right now, I might just walk out. I'm pretty sure I know what it is.
I'll tell you this. I just went the other day to see the second part, and I was blown away. And of course, we're talking about Dune, and in this case, we're talking about Dune Imperium.
What game?
Is fantastic game.
Spectacular game.
That makes worker placement, hand management, deck building in a fantastic way, with the theme that is then perfectly linked together. You get everything, all the feelings that the movie gives you into a fantastic board game itself. If the board game was whatever other IPs, it would still be a fantastic board game, but brought everything together with a theme. It just like blows me away every time. Now, is it gonna stay number one? Because we just got on our way our copy of Dune Uprising finally. That is the version 2, 1.5,
1.5, something like that. Yeah.
Something like that, where it adds more.
And we haven't played it yet.
We haven't played, so I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna play Dune Imperium as soon as it turns out of that door.
Uprising, yeah.
And Uprising, and then we'll do a comparison video between the two if you guys are interested.
Because we love that game so much, it just gives us an excuse to play it more, and I think that's a great idea. So we're definitely going to do that. But Dune Imperium is an amazing game, Matt. It's a tremendous pick, and rightfully so. It has to be number one. Like you say, it does everything right. It is one of those games where you have a short amount of points, 10 points.
Yeah.
So, and what I love about those systems is everything, it feels tense and hard won.
Yeah.
You win a point, you're like, yes!
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like games where you've got 300 points to win. You get a point in this game, you're like, yeah, baby.
It's really important. And the fact that the scoring mechanisms will change every time depending on the scoring cards. That means that you can start with one tactics and have to change completely like halfway through because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I love the asymmetric stuff that each faction will have their own power, their own things that they like.
A little bit of resource management as well in there with the spice and the water and things like that.
Exactly. So it's a fantastic game. The combat system that they got is actually very, very smart.
Really
doesn't feel silly or doesn't feel too overcomplicated. It just like.
It feels
just like great.
Yeah, it's great. It feels very bloody as well.
Yeah,
Like you send your dudes into the desert. Everyone's going to die one way or another.
They're not going to come back.
They're not coming back one way or another.
Hopefully,
someone's going to win.
Yeah, exactly. So, fantastic game.
Yeah.
My number one, probably, who knows, going to be put out on the side for Dune Uprising. We'll see when we're gonna manage to play.
For the sake of this game, though, it's basically the same base, right? It's the
it is.
Yeah. So, but
updated with the
more
new, with more stuff. Updated with the new character that came out in the recent movie. So, really
what do you
looking
think?
forward.
Which one's better?
Well, if you played both already, let us know what you think in the comment below.
Yeah. So those were our picks of some tremendous IP-based games. But for us, as you well know, IP is a little bit of a red flag. So I'm sure that there are plenty of games out there that you have all played that are absolutely fantastic and based on IPs.
Yeah, I would really like to know. Tell me more really good IP games, because it's always my thing. I don't buy a lot of IP games because I'm always like...
It's scared,
yeah.
Skeptical.
But I know that there are very few good. Give me more ideas of all the IP games that we should play.
Let us know in the comments below your favourite IP games, and while you're doing that and thinking about it, make sure that you check out all of the rest of our content. And also, Matt, what do they need to do?
Well, hit the subscribe button here.
Bam.
So you get to know every time that we got more content.
No license fee included.
No.
You have to license it, just press it.
Yeah, exactly. Just press it. And while you're there as well, check the link in the description for the Into the AM for your 10% discount on all these fantastic graphic tees.
Absolutely.
And apart from that,
Catch you again real soon.
Ciao.